Greetings, my excellent friend.
Welcome to Heavy Metal
History.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Heavy Metal History Podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Dustin, and joining me all the way from Australia land is Matt.
Yeah, g'day, everyone.
And our guest this week, yes, we're going back to a guest episode, is my buddy Cory Arford from Carnifex.
Hey.
I will bet $10 million that Cory is high as fuck right now.
No, dude, come on. I don't do that stuff. Only users lose drugs.
They do, yeah, they lose drugs all the time, don't they?
Yeah, not me, though. Because I don't do that.
No one here does that. Shifty eyes.
Definitely not going to be getting high while we do this either.
Yeah, me neither. I don't have heroin in my arms right now.
Just got them all prepped up, so when you're ready, you just pull the hose. Oh, that's a good one. All right, next topic.
Oh, shit, man. Well, how have you been?
I've been good. I'm glad to be home.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys were out for like, what, 2 months? Month and a half?
Yeah, I mean, we did 2 months in February, and then we had, I think, was it like 8 weeks off, and then 2 months outside in summer all over the country, and then, so yeah, we're home until like right at the beginning of November, I think.
It's not bad. Although those winter tours can be pretty brutal, man. But I guess a little better than summer.
To see. I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, it's the driving that's always the scariest, I feel like, in winter.
Yeah, but, I mean, we did that February, March, and it was fucking freezing everywhere, but it was like one night where we hit some snow.
Mm-hmm.
So we did the whole 2 months without any incidents or any weather, really, other than some rain.
That's not bad. That's pretty good.
Yeah, so hopefully November, December is the same.
Yeah, I feel like this not to get too much into weather talk, guys, but yeah, I feel like you never know with winter, man. It's a hit or miss.
Dude, shit's crazy, man. The Earth does whatever it wants.
Right? Fuck all Trump be damned. He doesn't know.
Well, man,
Overlord
even down here as well. Like you'd think, oh yeah, Australia, it doesn't snow. I was going out to my where my parents, they bought a place to retire, and it's like 3 hours outside of Sydney, and I hit like a patch of snow.
Damn.
Yeah,
in Australia.
I mean, well, we have summer. You guys have winter, and parts of Australia. If you were to turn the Earth over, you guys would be pretty far north. So down there, you're pretty far south. You're just closer to a different cap.
Oh, yeah. Where like when you get down to Tasmania and like Victoria, it gets really kind of cold. Just because from like the South Pole, like that's all it is. Like the highest it'll ever get there. I still can't do Fahrenheit, so it gets pretty like it doesn't get that high. But like as far as like touring here, like you basically have to fly everywhere, and I'm sure you've probably found that out, Cory, that if you want to tour this country, you need to fly everywhere.
Yeah, we did some stuff with Darkest Hour a few years ago, well, a while ago, but we did like 3 shows that were close to each other on, I think, the east side, and then we had a few shows on the west side, but yeah, we had to fly all the way over there. But they were telling us about that, like there's a bunch of times when, like if you play a lot of major places, you just have to fly.
Yep. Well, man, since you're on here, one thing we always like to start off with is, we like to talk about the records that kind of got you into metal and, influenced you as a guitar player. So let's hear one and we'll talk about it.
Well, I mean, it's kind of weird because I'm like a definite nu metal guy in a deathcore band. So, I mean, it kind of started with... Honestly, it started with 311 and Offspring.
Okay.
It was like, because I was listening to like a lot of rap on the radio, but I mean at the time it was good rap because it was all Snoop Dogg and Dre and all those motherfuckers that nobody plays anymore. So, I mean, I was listening to good hip-hop, but at the time I had a friend that was like, no, dude, you got to listen to this shit. And he showed me some Offspring, and I was like, oh, that's cool, because it was like, to me at the time, it was really aggressive, and it was really exciting, and he said a bunch of cuss words. I was like, he's yelling, and then he's cussing, and it's all fast. This is awesome.
Yeah, I always like to say that punk rock is like the step brother to heavy metal, you know, because then it just makes hardcore out of like the fusion of the two.
Yeah, I always look at like the rocks and the metals like on a hot sauce scale. So like you have your like, I don't know, I guess like radio hard rock, like Creed and stuff's down at the bottom.
Yeah,
that's like your straight up barbecue sauce, and then like your punk rock's like buffalo barbecue sauce or like spicy barbecue sauce, and then you have like your thrash is like your buffalo sauce, and then you have your heavy thrash metal that's like, I don't know, the whatever's right above buffalo sauce, and then it's like, I don't know, I guess it would be like death metal, and then like black metal, and then whatever else more extreme, like whatever Origin is.
You know what, man?
Wait to get to that chili sauce, and you just start crying as soon as you hear it.
Origin's like the ghost pepper sauce.
I'll make a sauce to metal ratio chart in Photoshop and put it up on the website.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I never heard anybody equate metal and punk and hardcore to hot sauces.
Yeah, I kind of put it along with like the kind of shit your mother would let you do. So like punk's like aggressive, but your mom will let you go because it's just like, oh, they're just boys rebelling and all this stuff. But like they won't let them go to a death metal show because they're talking about like gutting people and whatever the fuck else.
I saw that album of the Cannibal Corpses. No good.
Mom, I want to go see Cannibal Corpse. Not with a name like that, you're not.
What kind of songs do they have? Oh, just called Fucked with a Knife. No big deal.
They have a song called I Come Blood. It's sick.
So what was it about those records that kind of, like, how did the evolution take place where you just kind of kept getting into harder and heavier stuff?
Because my dad didn't like it. And it kind of just started because, like, nobody liked it. And so I wanted to like stuff that nobody liked. But at the same time, like, stuff like Slipknot and Stained and Deftones, like, they have that sort of somber, like, real life feeling to them. And obviously as a teenager, you're upset about everything. So
yeah, I
wanted heavy music, and I wanted something where people were pissed off and upset with the world like I was, so it was like fucking perfect. Plus the melodies and the rhythms, they're all there. It's like as close as you could get to radio rock without really being on the radio that much.
So with Offspring, what record was it that you got that you heard? Was it like one of their early ones, like Smash, or was it the big one?
Like Americana.
Yeah, oddly enough, like Smash was like brand new when that dude showed it to me. Like that was the record he brought over. It had been out for like a few months or something.
That's a good one. Definitely.
And then I found Ignition that came out before that, and that's my favorite record by them.
Okay. Yeah, man,
Ignition
Smash has
sick.
like all the hits, I feel like. And I mean, obviously Americana does too, but yeah, Smash is good.
Ignition's where it's at. That was like, I don't know what to say about it, but it was something about it. It was sick. It was kind of darker, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
A little more like ball to the wall, like heavy punk, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. They were like definitely like once Americana came around, they got more into like the little poppier side of punk. With their first two records, it's like a little bit more straightforward, like California punk.
Yep, I think Green Day did the same thing. They put, what was that, Nimrod? They put that out.
Yeah, Green
That was,
Day
like, straight radio.
went straight. Yeah, they just like gave up I feel like it's like whatever. We'll just play radio rock songs for the rest of our lives, and that's fine.
Yep.
I don't blame them.
They're huge.
Shit,
They
yeah,
can-
they're. Yeah, he's like, I think he's directing a movie now, if I'm not mistaken, or he was just in a movie as an actor. I forget which it was.
That wouldn't surprise me.
No, just remember there used to be this massive music festival up in Australia, and I think the last year they had it, Green Day was headlining, and they gave him a 3-hour set.
Holy shit. I don't know if I'd want to listen to Green Day for 3 hours. Not even an hour. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, I just stayed away for the entire time. I went to go see like Dillinger or someone like that, and or like Glassjaw at the time. So like three or four sets just when they just like before they'd even finished their one.
Damn.
Yeah, Glassjaw was another one of those bands. They came to when I lived in Utah. They came with Deftones twice, and that shit was awesome.
Huh, twice.
Yeah,
That's really like unheard of a lot of times. I mean, it does happen that bands tour together multiple times, but I feel like back then it was probably more rare that it would happen.
yeah. I think one of them was just a Glassjaw. It was the White Pony tour, and Glassjaw was just the guest.
Oh.
And then the other one was like a festival tour. It might have been Warped Tour, but I can't remember.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
But I did see them at the same show together twice, or two separate shows together twice. I don't know. Whatever I'm supposed to say that makes sense.
Yeah, that thing. So was that, were you already playing guitar by this point, or was that kind of like what sparked your interest in it, or was it another record or band or musician?
No, when that dude showed me those CDs, my dad had given me his old acoustic, and where the bridge is glued on, like the wood warped.
Oh
So
shit.
the strings were like super high up, but I still like sat and played it, and like I learned like how to make a couple of melodies and shit just by like, oh, that sounds cool. And then I asked my dad for a guitar like 3 years later.
Yeah, I had like one of my first guitars do that too, where like the neck warped, and then every time after that, if I played past a certain fret, it would just be dead. It wouldn't hit at all. It's like, it's a
Time to
piece of
smash
shit.
it.
Yep. I traded it in and got a shitty Jackson guitar.
Hell yeah.
So what are you listening to nowadays, man? Like what's in your new rotation?
I don't know. Like as far as new bands, I've been listening to Fire from the Gods because they were on Warped Tour and they sound like Seven Dust a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they have like certain parts where you're like, oh, it kind of sounds like Seven Dust. They're sick, but honestly, I've been listening to a lot of old shit, like all those new metal records, like that were out in like 02 and 03 and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like Seven Dust Home, and like Snot and Glassjaw, old Deftones. I don't know. I've been on like an old records kick. Just listen to a ton of old shit.
Yeah, I get like that pretty often too. Like I'll have not listened to something for like, I don't realize it until I listen to it again, but it's been like 5 years and I'm like, holy fuck, like how did I forget about this record? Or like,
Yeah, I fucking love this shit. What am I doing?
yeah. It's like that. It kind of reinvigorates it and you're like, oh, I'm just going to listen to this all the time again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny. Like you mentioned old Deftones. Last weekend I found a copy of their self-titled album, the one with Minerva and like pins and needles on it.
Oh,
just found it on vinyl.
So good.
Well, here's the thing. I bought it on vinyl. Was playing it with my girlfriend as we were doing something, and she does not like metal. She's like listening to it. It's like, what the hell is this? And it's like, just listen to it.
She would
It's like,
probably
I don't get it.
She would probably dig their newest album, Gore. It's pretty. It's fairly
Gore
soft.
Or Saturday Night Wrist.
Yeah, definitely that one for sure.
Would be probably the ones that you get people in with.
I don't know. Most chicks like White Pony.
Man,
Yeah,
Diamond
but you
Eyes
gotta
is
get
where
to
it's
the-
at.
Yeah, but with White Pony, you really have to get to the.
Yeah, the later songs were the more like sex songs. That's the only reason chicks like that record. Is like, oh, it turns me on.
Yeah, that's a sex record for sure.
Yep.
I never thought about that. I guess that's a good point. I think about like most of the girls I know that like that record. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess now that makes sense. They probably like to fuck to that record. That's why they like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Most
whenever you
chicks
go
like to fuck to that record.
yeah, whenever you go to a show and like whenever you go see them live or something like that, you'll see like girls are singing along to those songs.
Yep.
They're not singing along to like Head Up or fucking
Nope.
I don't know, whatever else.
Root.
Yeah, Root. 7 words, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't listen to too much new metal. Like, the only album that I'll for sure like still listen to if it comes on, or like will go seek out to listen to, is Iowa. I feel like that record's
so
just fucking savage, man. It's such a good record.
I didn't like it a whole lot right when it came out because I remember being stoked, and I made my dad take me to the store.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it, and then I was like, "Oh man, I don't know." But now it's so good.
I know for sure I remember liking it when it first came out because, you know, I was super into their first album, and I remember having like most of that album like memorized, like you know, Wait and Bleed, everything. Just like I knew the lyrics front to back. And then I remember seeing the music video for Left Behind, and they'd all changed their masks, and the video was like fucking bloody and gross, and I was like, dude, I'm fucking in. And then I got the record, and Heretic Anthem came on, and I was just like, Jesus fucking Christ, this is exactly what I had been like wanting to hear. So I liked it when it first came out, and I think I just kind of, there was a point where I just like stopped listening to Slipknot, you know, I was like over it. But
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I've gone back, obviously, like within the past few years, and I was like, Jesus, this album, like I can't believe I turned my back on it for a few years, so to speak.
yeah, they were always one of like I was right at the age of when like I think Volume 3 came out.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like you had like the first kind of reactions to you know, to the self-titled in Iowa, and then when Volume 3 came out, I probably would have been like 13, 14 years old, so I wouldn't have known any better. But if it was to come out now, I would just been like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, Volume 3 I didn't like. That's where I like kind of gave up on them.
Oh, they want to get on the radio now.
Yeah.
They were already on the radio from the first record, but they wanted to be on the radio more.
Which was crazy. I do remember like how often I would hear Wait and Bleed on the radio, and I'm just like, holy shit, like this is for real.
It had that edit where like the chorus was sang rather than screamed.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Would this have been on like radio rock stations or like mainstream things or?
Yeah, like stuff you'd hear Korn and like Red Hot Chili Peppers and what the fuck else? Metallica, and you hear a lot of like Guns N' Roses, like it's like American rock radio stations.
Right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I'd say Slipknot was probably about like the heaviest thing they would throw in there at that point in time.
And Korn, I mean, they were playing that old Korn shit, and like that was pretty weird and pretty heavy for then.
Oh, like Issues and like Follow the Leader?
Yeah, Follow the Leader around the same time that Slipknot first record came out. It was like those two, so.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then sometimes they'd play Blind or, I don't know, like, and then like sometimes there'd be like a heavy metal radio show where they'd play other songs from most of those bands that wouldn't be on the radio normally.
Yeah, I forgot Follow the Leader was out around that time, and how like fucking huge Got the Life song was.
Oh yeah, Todd McFarlane doing all the artwork and the animation.
Yeah. Jeez.
It's a good time to be alive.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think like how much like the music landscape has kind of changed since then too. It's just like always changing.
Yeah, and it's like you were talking about rap earlier, and it's like, okay, you had, rap where they clearly and, precisely enunciate like lyrics. Now I hear rap and it's all just, just mumbly shit.
Yep.
Dude,
like,
we get in...
people...
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, is there something like legitimately wrong with these people, or did they just get like smashed beforehand and then get on the mic for, for fire?
Oh, these dudes think that they're awesome, and they're not.
Yeah, I do not understand the mumble rap stuff. Like, we get into these conversations at work sometimes now because a couple of our associates love it and they try to play it at work, and we're like, no, fucking no, like it's terrible. And they're like,
I don't, because I don't think it's quite big over here, but I just want to know what it's like in the States. Like,
it's huge.
Do those guys do Sprite commercials and shit like that?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, dude, it's stupid.
Yeah, a lot of them have like their own clothing lines and like all kinds of shit like that. It's crazy.
It's awful. Even people I know that love rap, they fucking hate that shit.
Yeah, that's the weird thing to me too. Is like people who like rap, like you were saying, they're like, no, this isn't rap. I don't even know what this is. It's fucking terrible.
It's garbage. It's straight garbage. If your own community of fans doesn't like your shit and you're doing the same thing just really badly, then everyone points it out, then you're garbage.
Although I will say, like, there are metal bands that do like the rap rock kind of style. It's not necessarily my thing. I don't really enjoy it, but there's some bands who do it pretty well that I can see like why they're big because of that.
So someone I want to know is why these dudes that have like, I don't know, whatever it is, those like dudes or a bunch of rappers come in and speed rap over like really dark, evil like beats.
Mm-hmm.
Why is there no like gent rap band doing shit like that? Those bands would be huge.
I don't know. Wasn't
one band? Yeah.
I mean, there's Hacktivists, but that's not really what I'm talking about.
Yeah, there's this band. I'll have to send for the name from like my area, or at least where I used to live. And they basically did like the same thing. It just sounded like After the Burial, but like it just had like some guy who was like rapping. It was pretty fast as well.
Yeah, just like sick, fast flows where dudes enunciate, and really dark, evil like synthy sounds over some drum beats that are like super dark, and then just throw breakdowns in. Like for the chorus or whatever.
I mean, that could be a side project, man.
Side project.
But I don't know anybody that raps like that.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm terrible at rapping. I think, actually, I take that back. I could probably write lyrics that could all rhyme, but I would not be able to say them fast enough to make it sound good.
It's hard, man.
Yeah. Like, I have the vocabulary for it, but not the actual speaking voice for it or rapping voice or whatever you want to call it.
I got Tech Nine's last record. It's him and Eminem and some other rapper, and it's called Speed 'Em,
Mm-hmm.
and they all rap really fast, and Eminem is a fucking badass, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
that dude is so good.
I do have to listen to like a lot of rap at work, and like I think a common, I guess, thing about people who listen to metal that we get typecast that we don't really listen to a lot of different music, and I think that's completely untrue because I listen to like all kinds of shit, and I definitely do enjoy some hip hop, but like every now and then, man, when I hear an Eminem song like come on at work, I actually like really listen to what he's saying and how he's like getting the words in there and stuff. And I'm really fucking impressed. he can like he is really good at like speed rapping and just like putting good stuff in his words, not just like making a word rhyme because he needs it to rhyme. Like he still makes it go with a thought that he's trying to get across.
Yeah, he's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I like some older rap mostly. That's, you know, like Tupac, obviously. But I also dig some. I really fucking love this British rapper. He had this group called The Streets that was fucking awesome.
Oh my god, The Streets!
I love The Streets, man.
I can remember The Streets, man. I
love
remember
it.
like seeing them like a free like festival out in like Sydney like years ago.
Yeah.
It was like pretty. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do not know what happened to The Streets.
He just quit. He didn't want to do it anymore. I think he got into doing other things. But yeah, man, I dug his stuff. It's kind of hard to get into because, you know, the British accent and everything. But I don't know. It's always been like a guilty pleasure.
It's painfully British.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good.
So Cory, you just got done with the Warped Tour.
Yeah.
Is that like okay? So we're talking about the music climate and all that because I remember like being a kid and like I was like, oh, it's a bunch of like punk, too, and like The Offspring and all that. But what's it like now?
I don't know. I went when I was a kid a couple times, and it was in Utah both times. Oh, I went once in Cali too, but it was like a bunch of skate ramps and like a lot of stuff to do and see going on. It was like a huge fairground full of stuff, and a shitload of people would go. And now it's like it was 7 stages. It was really small. I don't know. It's definitely gone down, but I don't know if that's the music scene or this year's lineup or what. But
I mean,
because I
go ahead.
Oh, sorry, no. Because I was going to say because I feel like that's as I've made quite a point as well. I feel like there's no rock music festivals out here anymore. No summer music festivals that is for like heavier music. So, and that includes like punk as well. So I don't know if we basically got it first and it's just a sign of things to come over to America, or if it was just a down year. But it just kind of has me a bit worried about, the state of essentially just rock music in general.
No, I mean, we still got Rock on the Range is 3 days every year in Ohio, and that shit's fucking huge. Like, it's on TV. I watched Slipknot in 2014 when I was out east, going to move my wife here to Arizona, and we had to stay for a couple days, and Rock on the Range was on satellite TV, so I watched Slipknot on TV live.
Damn.
Oh, jeez.
That was pretty fucking cool. And I mean, Summer Slaughter's still going pretty strong. This year's lineup, I went to the Arizona date and it was packed, and I mean, there was a lot of stages of Warped Tour, but the 2 monster stages with like us and Candiria and Hatebreed and Siler and Amir and After the Burial, like our stages crushed it. Like they were packed every day, except for Farmington, New Mexico, or no, Las Cruces, New Mexico. There were less pre-sale tickets than there were people working Warped Tour.
Oh.
Oosh.
So that's why that seems like a random ass city to go through too. Like why?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. That's a bummer. So
because Albuquerque was pretty big, so.
Oh yeah. So why even bother?
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't make the decisions. You're just along for the ride.
Oh, pretty much. Just where do we go?
Yeah.
Okay.
They pay me X amount of money to go to point B. Of course, I'll do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely wanted to go to Warped Tour, to hang out with you guys and see how it was. But I've never been to one, so I can't like comment on if it's like different or not. It definitely would be interesting to know if it's dropped off like a lot or if it's kind of like same as it ever was, you know?
It's dropped off for sure.
It
but
has.
I don't know. I think it's just what Lyman should be doing is we should just be like 4 or 6 stages. Each stage has its own like big time headliner. Obviously, the bigger the stage, the bigger the headliner. But
Yeah.
just do that and then have bands playing under it, and they can still do their whole random everyday thing. Just leave the headliners the headliners.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. I feel weird about big festivals too. Like at least with Warped Tour, the ticket's not terribly expensive, you know, for the amount of bands that you could see. Especially with most other festivals where it's like, you know, double or even triple the price and nowhere near the same amount of bands that you want to go see.
Yeah, actually, they did a cool thing this year was that after a certain time of the day, the tickets at the door were like half price.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a good
cool.
way to do it.
People with jobs that want to come see like Guar, you know, older bands with older fans.
Hell yeah.
They're like, well, people have to get off work. I can't make it early, so like half off tickets, and then for like guests had to at least a $5 donation, so that part of the $3 million he's going to comp in tickets, that part of that goes back into some funds and stuff like that. So he's still doing a bunch of cool shit like that.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I can imagine like how fucking massive it is to run that thing. It's got to be expensive as hell too.
Oh yeah.
So I am curious because I've heard varying things on the internet with Summer Slaughter. Like how was it?
It was the same as it ever was.
Same as it ever was. All right. Yeah, mostly with the Faceless. I hear a lot of people have been complaining about them. Their live set hasn't been the best, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I went. It was packed. Like everybody went on and off well, and everything was like. Actually, they were running a little bit ahead. So that
nice.
was cool.
Yeah, that's always good. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Stand there for like 35 minutes to wait for Dahlia to play, though.
Jesus. Yeah, they did that. They did that shit too when I saw them when they were doing the anniversary tour for Unhollowed. It took them forever to fucking set up, and it wasn't even at a big venue. It was at like a little tiny ass venue.
Well, you know, whatever.
So how long does it go for? Like if you look just for a Summer Slaughter, like you know from sun up to kind of sundown, is that like what doors open till they close? Is it like what 5-6 hours?
Oh no, it's way longer than
It's
that.
usually
Longer.
2 to about 11.
Yeah,
So 9 hours.
but like yeah,
Gee.
so we'd have to get there at like probably 10, 11 o'clock, if not earlier. Load everything in.
Yeah, well, we did it last year. We were getting there at about noon every day. Then load your shit in and then wait till about 3 or something. And finally set up and then doors.
Yeah, it's long, man. It's pretty grueling. Although I have to imagine that Warped Tour is probably way more grueling.
Yeah, it is. Load-ins are 8
Fuck.
or 9. And then it's about 11 hours.
God, dude.
Yeah.
I don't
And
even.
if you stay for the whole thing and pack up when it's actually over, you're there for like 15 hours.
Yeah, were there days that you guys just like skipped out early and just left?
We always left as early as we could.
Nice.
Yeah, you kind of have to. You'd have to like.
Yeah, especially you guys were in the van, right?
Yeah, so that was our main thing is we tried to leave so we could get wherever we're going and leave the van running and sleep a little bit.
Yeah.
Because by the time you get there, it's 4 a.m. Load-ins in 4 hours. So, yeah, it sucks. But I mean, it sucks as much as it was fun.
Yeah, that's always the side of it. Like, yeah, it gets pretty grueling, and everybody gets tired and cranky sometimes. But you have those nights every now and then where like some shit seriously gets fun, or days where it's super fucking fun, and it's like, oh well, I was tired until I started having fun.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of would grab my stage clothes and a couple Cliff Bars and like a Gatorade and my weed and shit, and go sit with our gear under our tent by the stage and just watch all the bands every day and hang out and change strings or fiddle around on the guitar and walk to catering and get food. And then you play and put all the gear away, and then we go to the van and then usually leave a little bit after that.
So do you have any stories you'd be willing to share with us from Warped Tour? Something funny that might have happened?
Nothing happened.
You're a fucking liar.
I'm not, dude. Nothing happened. Like, we were all too tired to do anything. Like, we didn't get to go to any of the parties. We didn't get to do the charity bowling. Like, we didn't get to do shit. We literally sat around all day, and then we'd play, and we'd leave and get food or whatever, and then wake up and do it all again, and then leave, and then days off we'd go to hotels. Like, nothing happened.
Yeah, I get it.
Not in our camp. I mean, other people partied and did other shit. There was probably about 40 bandwagons or some shit, and like 25 or 30 buses.
That's crazy, man. That's just so many bands on that tour. That's like the point where you kind of realize, like, most tours, like, you get the feeling like, oh, it's like a summer camp and we're gonna part and blah blah blah. But like, Warped Tour really feels like a summer camp because there's so many fucking people. Like, did you even meet everybody on that whole tour at all? No. Yeah. See, no, that's
I hung out at our stages, so like I met the Candiria dudes, and I ran into Jamie Josta a couple times.
Nice.
But like, I didn't really meet any of the other bands on the other Monster stage. I just hung out with everybody on our stage pretty much, because there was all the bands, but then we had Josh, the monitor guy, and Baz. He's like audio manager. He would run all the lines and make sure everything's good to go. And then we had Miles, stage manager, and Caesar, the, I guess, gear loading manager. And then Lorraine was the front of house manager. And then us and Amir and ATB were all using the same sound guy, so just kind of hung out. But ATB sat in their bandwagon the whole time, so we didn't really hang out with them.
Sounds about right. I remember that's what they did too that one time, that last time we toured with them. Or I'm sure you guys have probably toured with them since then, but yeah, they had that bus and they were just always on the bus, never came out.
Oh yeah, that shit was cold too. But yeah, we did Summer Slaughter with them last year, but I think they were in one of the rocket ships.
Oh, yeah, those things are
sprinter that's decked out inside.
Yeah, yeah.
They would always, like, when we parked together, like as a touring crew or whatever, like they'd park next to us and hang out. But it was really hot, so I don't really blame them for being in the bandwagon. But Amir was in the van too, and Josh and Phil and them didn't feel like walking back and forth to the van and the gear all day, so they would just sit at the gear with me, and we would complain about the weather. And some days the loaders that the city provided or whatever, or Live Nation, whatever, some of the people were pretty dumb some days, so we'd sit there and laugh at them and make fun of them and stuff. But some people were like super pros. They knew their shit.
Yeah, that's when you can tell that they've either hired somebody on for like a day's worth of work, or like some dude who's been doing it for years and like has his shit down.
Actually, there was one day we was in St. Louis, Missouri, and all the loaders were, no offense to anybody, they were all black dudes, but like they were all like clearly not into like metal.
Yeah.
Like clearly rap dudes and like current rap dudes. Like they're not old school rap dudes. Like they don't like Dre and stuff. They listen to new shit because you can tell how like the old school rappers do certain things like visually when they dance, and then like the new school dudes have like different stuff.
Yeah.
Like the way they put their hands up and other things. I don't know. But yeah, these dudes were like chilling and kind of like, what the fuck's going on with all this? But when After the Burial played, they were all standing up there on side stage, like they had their hands in the air. Like every time they played a breakdown, they were just like sitting there grooving and dancing and shit and getting down.
Yeah.
Shit was fucking awesome, but I guess the stage manager didn't like it because they were all dumb as hell.
No, I remember I was on that tour. There was this.
Shit.
Yeah, I remember on the wall thing. I saw this video of like I think it was like the Acacia Strain were playing, and then they started playing a breakdown. One of the security guards, like black dude as well, he just starts like headbanging along to it all. So it's like he's looking at it, being like, "What's this?" And he's like, "Oh, I can get into this."
Yeah, there was some days where you'd see just some of the people working. You're like, these people hate this music, but then some band will play some part, and you'll see them just like getting down, just like this is sick. And it's like they clearly don't listen to it because they're like bored or like confused by it. But then that one part hits, and they're like, "I love this shit."
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I notice that sometimes it shows too, like all security guard watch, and you can tell like every now and then there's the ones that just fucking hate it no matter what, and they got that grimace on their face and they're like, why the fuck am I here right now? And you have the other ones that are like kind of into it, you know, they don't really know about it, but they hear some, like you were saying, just, they hear those parts, man, and they're like, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
And then you get the ones that are like overly aggressive and think as soon as they see anyone moshing, they need to be like, wait, stop, I need to be a hero.
Yeah, don't hit that guy. It's fine, man. We got it.
What's he doing? Is he taking a swing?
My favorite was obviously Guar is Guar, and they have all their stuff, but people would see like our outfits with the spikes and all the shit on them and all that stuff. And especially some of the older people or like the older black dudes would be like, what the fuck is this shit you guys are wearing? And I'd be like, oh yeah, I want it to look like I butchered a bunch of people. And they're like, oh, y'all are crazy. Oh my God, what the fuck? And then we go on stage, and then I see them like standing there watching the whole time, like, holy shit, like eyes all wide, head banging. And then afterwards they're like, holy shit, man, that was fucking, oh my God, that was crazy. Y'all are fucking amazing. Holy shit, man. Like, some of them would just lose their minds. It's like, I can't believe, because I mean, there's other bands that are heavy, but we're the only death metal band there. So when we're like trem picking and Sean's blast beating, everybody's like, oh my God, what's going on right now?
It's like, you can make the instruments do that.
It's like, all these dudes are really heavy, but my God, you guys are crazy.
I kind of dig that though, man, because like, you know, a lot of people have a very like small world view of music. So like when they see something like that takes them out of their comfort zone, they're kind of like shocked by it, but they appreciate it even though they may not like it, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's what, like, that's why people become metalheads. That's why I became a metalhead, because, like the heaviest thing I heard before I listened to, like, Korn or anything was, like, Nirvana, It Smells Like Teen Spirit, or whatever the fuck Weezer was playing on Distortion, or, like, one of the breakdown E parts on the 311 self-titled album that was coming out. It was like out in 95. Like, when I heard that shit, it shocks you. But you either like the shock or you don't. And people that like the shock stay there, and the people that don't like it, they either try again or they never go back.
Yeah, that's true. And I will say this, man, I am fucking surprised that like no death metal or deathcore band has tried to cover Weezer's Hash Pipe, because that song is fucking perfect for it. It's nothing but like a chuggy like breakdown riff anyways.
Yep.
Like, somebody needs to get on that shit. Cover it.
Yes.
Right?
Fucking perfect.
I would love to cover a Weezer song or one of the heavier 311 songs or
Do
something.
it, man. I would fucking love it.
No, I like
Oh, like Down?
Down or like Freeze Time or the Brodals or the Hive. Like some of those earlier records, they were like pissed off or whatever. So like they wrote some heavier stuff, and if you put like a real metal tone to some of those riffs, it's really metal.
Yeah.
And live, like I just saw them last weekend, and Tim Mahoney, the main guitar player, his tone is very metal when they play the heavier stuff. And I can tell that it's it's either a Mesa or something else that's like really raspy high gain, but it definitely sounds like a Mesa rig that he's running for his like heavy metaler stuff.
That's pretty cool. How were they? I've never been a huge 311 fan, but I know your love of them, and I think it's cool that you've always kind of like played them.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't even explain really why they're my favorite, but probably just because they're the only band that sounds like them. Like they are truly 100% an original band. Mm-hmm. Nobody sounds like 311, and other bands that try to sound like 311 don't. Like they get one part of it down or something, but 311 has some formula to whatever they're doing that not only has it kept the same 5 dudes in the same band, they've been writing the same original music since 1989.
Yeah, that's fucking long ass time, man. Almost as long as I've been alive.
Exactly. Like I was 6 when they started.
Yeah, I always like that. As far as eclectic tastes go, 311's one of those bands that I know so many people that love them, and it's not surprising. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's just, I guess it is surprising in a sense because how many people I do know that like them.
Yeah, and I'll say, like, when I was at the show, I saw people that, like, your Coors Light drinking, fucking desert truck going dudes. I saw those guys. I saw fucking dudes that probably like to lower their Hondas, and I saw some vatos, some fucking homies and shit.
Yeah.
I saw some preppy kids. I saw preppy girls. Like chicks that go home and watch the OC. Like I saw everybody there. Like I was there. I saw a couple other heavy metal shirts. I saw some a couple of him fans. Like everybody was there. Like I don't know how, but they appealed to like not everyone, but like everyone. You know what I mean? Like they appeal to all groups, but it's not for all people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes.
Oh, and they were really good, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Do you know Doug Benson, the comedian?
Yeah.
Yeah, he always does their cruise that they do every year, the 311 cruise. And he always comes back and like talks about it, and I'm like, man, that sounds like fun, to be honest.
It would be sick. I heard was like our audio manager Baz. He's a big 311 fan too, so I was talking to him every day. And I guess on the cruise, like they hang out and do their thing or whatever, but there's like a whole part of the ship that's blocked off for them.
Damn.
And I was like, oh, I thought they were like fan people, and I guess he said that he heard they would try to do that, but I guess they've had some fans they talk to, like they know what kind of toothbrush Peanut uses, and like what kind of shave gel Nick Hexum uses, and like extremely weird personal shit. So they're like, nah, we're not gonna sleep next to our fans. Like, so they have their own area, but they still come and hang out and do the thing and all that.
Yeah, that's fair. That definitely is on the stalkery, like fucking weirdo
obsessive
level.
Compulsive, yeah. That's
I mean, and the one good thing is that they're a very positive band, so there's no negativity in their music, so they don't really have to worry about negative, violent people. But
it's true.
there are still weird people, and people like, I know what kind of toothbrush Pino uses. Like, okay, that's a bit too much.
See you.
I mean, I don't know why anybody would want to know something like that. Like, does it really matter what kind of toothbrush they use? Fuck no.
Right? I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
I just want you to keep making music and don't break up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the most important thing.
Oh, did you see that tour with the Used and Glassjaw? Was it the Used?
Oh yeah, I saw you post about that, dude.
Fuck. Why does it have to be October 28th?
Yeah, there's a lot of like anniversary tours going around this year. It's fucking nuts.
Although I hope Glassjaw does a better show than I saw him a couple of years ago.
Yeah, was it not great? Did they not sound good?
No, they sounded amazing, but like the guitar player had a hoodie on and a hat.
Mm-hmm.
He had the hood up, and he just kind of stood in his spot and just headbanged, and then they would finish the song and he'd just stand there.
Huh.
And then Daryl would, or the next song would just start because Daryl didn't talk at all. So they just kind of played like 15 songs and then they left.
Bummer. So it's just like
Daryl didn't say anything. Like there was no banter. There was no nothing. It was just like, here, we're gonna play these songs. Okay, see ya.
So it's just kind of like they didn't want to be there. They just wanted to get their paycheck and.
And I don't want to say they didn't want to be there, but maybe, I don't know. It was just weird. Like I remember Daryl from back in the day. I saw him when, one of the Deftones tour. Like Everything You Ever Want to Know About Silence was out, so he was talking to everybody. He was all going crazy on stage and shit. And I know he's older now, but there was like none of that at all.
Yeah.
There's like no show.
So actually, speaking of this, now that we're kind of we've gotten to this topic, what was the first show that you went to? Whether it was metal, let's do this. If your first show wasn't metal, like what was it? And then what was your first like metal show that you went to?
It was metal.
Okay.
Some people would call it metal. I don't know. It was Korn and Stained.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's metal.
That's fair.
It was the Sick and Twisted tour. So Issues was new, and Stained had just like really hit the scene with Dysfunction. So, and I was way into both of those bands at the time, and it was fucking amazing. Korn did a cool thing where they played. So their whole setup was cool. They had fire and stuff, and then
Oh shit.
they played the whole set, and then everything went black, and they left. And then the lights came on, and there was a curtain, so everybody was like, "Oh, I guess that's it." And people started walking out. Then we heard like the Ride of the Blind song,
Huh.
and everybody's like, "Oh fuck!" So everybody turns and runs back in, and then there's like lights behind the curtain. And then when he does the "Are You Ready?" the curtain drops, and there was like a Godzilla-sized stuffed animal from the Issues cover.
Oh shit, that's pretty cool.
It was huge, and the David's drum set and his riser thing were like right in between his legs. So
Whoa, that's awesome.
it was fucking sweet.
Huh. Yeah, I kind of stopped listening to Korn after Follow the Leader. But
Yeah,
I liked Issues. Issues was great.
Yeah, Issues is good. I'll still put every album up from Issues backwards on from time to time. But like even the one they did with like Skrillex, it's like no.
I didn't like it before, but I've been listening to Take a Look in the Mirror recently, and that's actually really good still.
What do you think about when bands kind of do that, where they like try to do these weird crossover things, like with a dubstep artist or Metallica and Lou Reed? Yeah.
I didn't know about the Metallica thing.
Yeah, it was a bad idea.
It depends on what it is.
I feel like they just never work out right, man. It's always like a gamble that never pays off.
Actually, you know what's a really cool crossover record?
What's that?
That I don't think anybody really knows about? Is the Spawn soundtrack.
Oh yes.
Every single one of those songs is two completely opposite bands or groups doing a song together.
Yeah, there was that one. Was it Slayer and Public Enemy did one together?
Yeah, that shit was dope.
Oh, that was mad. Yeah.
And Metallica and who was it? Metallica did For Whom the Bell Tolls, but it's like remixed. It was cool.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and the Spawn soundtrack got brought up on that, and they were talking about how it was kind of ahead of its time as well because of how different it was. And I was like, shit, I haven't thought about that soundtrack in so long. But yeah, that's a good fucking point, man. That's a good one. I'm sure you're as excited as I am for the prospect of a new Spawn movie.
Oh, you haven't heard?
Yeah, no, I definitely have. Yeah.
Well, Blumhouse picked it up.
Yeah.
And I saw a video. I guess some guy got more info, but so I guess the story is going to focus on Sam and Twitch. Well, Twitch mostly.
Which is cool.
Then,
I think that makes sense.
Hell yeah. And then so it's going to be like Jaws where Spawn's killing people, but you don't ever see him. And Sam and Twitch are trying to figure it out. So it's like the movie's not about Spawn, but it is kind of thing.
That seems really interesting. That could really work.
Hell yeah. And then, I mean, it's Todd's creation, so it's not going to be like some movie company took it and some focus group was like, oh, we should have him do this and all this stupid shit. And like, it's going to be very different from what anyone knows Spawn as, but Todd's doing it and it's under his wing, so that's fine.
The only thing I want, man, is, I do want to see like the updated Spawn. Like, I know they want to keep him hidden, but there's got to be like that point where you do finally like see the reveal on him, and I hope it's fucking badass.
Yeah, like the last 5 minutes, like throughout the film, you would just see like the cape, like little bits of the cape, and then you see like the whole reveal. That'd be fucking sick.
I did hear a video where Todd said he's not going to be the superhero thing, so there's like
that's good.
All of that stuff, like that stuff's not going to be there, but he is going to be like, I don't know, it's like he's like a terrifying shadow like Jaws was, the shark, and then like I guess when you see him it's going to be like, ah!
That's pretty cool. I'm excited, man.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's going to be sick.
Well, man, I don't want to take up any more of your time. It's getting late here, and we've gone into this about an hour, and I think we've covered some pretty good ground here. Is there anything else you want to let people know or tell them to check out or what you're doing?
Well, we are starting coming up with some new music here, so I think not next year, but the year after, we should have something for the people.
Oh yeah,
some new tunes maybe.
Cool. Yeah, I mean it's a good amount of time to take to write a record and get it out there.
Hell yeah, I mean it's pointless to just put stuff out just to put it out, so we're gonna make sure that we'll try and keep the thing going where what people tell us that every record we do is better than the last.
Yeah.
So I hope it stays that way. And I just got a second Kemper and a new fucking interface. I gotta set up this studio here, so I'm gonna get to like putting in actual work hours, like sit down and practice and work for real.
That's cool, man. Yeah, like I said when I saw you guys last time, it's cool that you guys are on War Tour this year. I feel like it's been a long time coming, and you guys have just been outdoing yourself on these records, so it's cool to have been there when you guys were just kind of getting up there, and now you're at a whole nother level, and it's well earned. So congratulations, man.
Thanks, man. We made it from Suicide Silence copycats to our an own individual band.
Damn right. Damn fucking right. Well, cool, man. Thanks for coming on, man. I definitely want to do this again sometime. Maybe we'll talk about comic books or some shit.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
I just got a whole bunch of new shit. I'm so stoked. I got a bunch of reading to do.
Yeah, I have a shit ton of catching up to do on like all kinds of stuff.
I have like years of catching up to do. It's like pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, comic books are hard, man. If you stop reading for like a few months, like shit goes by and you're like, oh, fuck, what did I miss? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's hard to be a fan of a lot of shit because you can't read that much.
I know. I was driving myself crazy with how much I was reading at one point in time. Just like, I can't keep up with all these. I got to drop some.
Yeah, it's like everything just molds together. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I just buy them and assume that I won't ever read them, and then just be happy that I have them and look at them from time to time.
It's a good way to do it. I've been getting rid of a lot of my stuff. I have like one last little bit of comics that I'm trying to get rid of. I have like an almost finished run of Sandman and some Lock and Key, and then like they'll be all gone.
Damn.
Yep. Anyways, people can follow you on Instagram and Twitter at BootFX, right? Are they both the same?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, so go follow Cory. Go follow Carnifex at Carnifex on probably everything.
And if anybody's into gaming, I'm going to be twitching and mixering, live streaming some Destiny 2 when that comes out.
oh yeah,
So, yep.
Cool.
that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
There you go, guys. Follow him on that shit, too. So
Yeah.
until next time, Cory, why don't you take us out with what we say every week, which is cheers, cunts.
I'll even do it in the Aussie accent.
Do it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. Cheers, cunts.
Yes. Yes.
That's fabulous.
Be excellent to each other.
And party on, dude!